because I'm busy getting the front end of the bike on, and I'm pulling off all the plastics and everything. As you can see, the bike is back on the ground for the first time since I sprayed her, and now it's time to put this whole headlight cluster and all this stuff back in. Looks like a real mess. The reason why I had to do that, I wanted to keep this off actually to spray the handlebars, but to do the front wheel and put it back in, I got to go ahead and put the wheel hub, the brake hub back in. So I got to put it all back together. It's okay. I'll probably end up spraying the handlebars right on the bike, just mask the bike up, so that'll be fine. And the only other bit that I still need to spray is going to be this back suspension over here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this all back on now. Yeah, let's see how it goes. And all the head assembly and all that stuff. So a couple of things I'm not happy with. Number one, I was going to spray these parts and finish them off first. They are not finished yet. They still need another coat of red and some clear on them before they go on, but as you can see, they hold on the headlight and all those sorts of parts, so I needed to fit them in just so that I could get them on. I did, however, get the front wheel on. Like I said again, putting the front wheel back was actually easier than getting it off, and definitely easier than the back wheel. So just to let you know how that assembly goes, it goes front bolt through your suspension, into your sleeve, into your brake, which has a dust cover built into it. That's your brake hub. Then you put on your brake pads from this side over here, and the brake pad simply goes straight from there into your suspension and onto the nut. And then don't forget to put in your cotter or split pin right there. That's your front wheel back on. Now before you can do that, because of course your front brake is attached to this control over here, you need to come on up and you need to fit on all of these little bits and bobs. So what we needed to do, this bolt, which is the only one which is the head bolt still dirty, because I just wanted to get it back on to get the bike standing again. So I tightened this up. It's got ball bearings inside of it, so be careful when you loosen it, because those things will come out. I wanted to get the front wheel back on so I could work on this without it all popping out and pulling itself out, so now I do. In order to put this on, in order to get all of this together, you put that on first, then over that comes the yokes. Into this is secured with a 19mm bolts both sides. Your head unit then comes on, and this bolt then comes straight on down the bottom, also with a 19mm, and gets tightened on. Make sure that you put on this little bit over here, is very important. It's called your bolt tightener, and what that does is it simply pushes down on the thread of this constantly to give it pressure so it doesn't rattle loose as you ride. So that's great. That is now all back together. In the meantime, like I said, there was a couple of things I was upset by. Number one, the bike that I got, mine was already broken here in the front, so I've gone ahead and bought a new part of that. That's going to be in the mail pretty soon. Looks pretty good. Comes with a brand new front of this, comes with the bulb, comes with everything. This is nice gloss black, like how I finished up my stands over here, so I think it's going to match nicely. And then I'm going to spray the handlebars at some point too, and finish off the back, which is the suspension over here, which has also not been sprayed. And those are the things that I'm unhappy about. Now the reason why I'm unhappy with the headlight in particular, I cracked it when I put it back on. So make sure that you don't over tighten your bolts, guys, because the plastic's old and brittle, as I found out. And that's cost me 50 bucks. It'll be 25 bucks for the unit. I will go ahead and post the link again. I'm not sure if they have any more available, but I'll post the link. Mine comes with this cover over here, excluding the speedometer. This cover over here, the plastic, this front bit, the glass, as well as the bulb. So that's pretty good. For 50 bucks, it was 25 bucks plus 25 bucks shipping. So wheel all back together. Brakes, I'm going to leave the front and back brakes off for now, just for the simple reason that I am in fact going to be starting to work on the engine. So I went on over, borrowed a impact drill from one of my friends over here, and that's the big difference between an impact drill, guys. It can do that. So when it kicks to being tight, it lets go and kicks it again, kicks it again, and kicks it again, instead of just putting ratchet force, and then that force they're going to strip the bolts. And as you can see over here, this is the bolt that I'm going to battle today. It is the flywheel bolts. Please somebody tell me if I'm missing my magneto or my alternator. So if you know anything about that, please let me know. In the meantime, let's get started on the engine. Engine starts today. I have over here split apart the crankcase, which was held together by just one bolt, looks like so. And where did that fit? Clearly I'm looking at the inside of the engines now. Okay, let me see. Bum, I think it was sitting right over there. So this bolts in to the other side of the engine casing over there, and I wanted to do that before I start working on the engine so that I can see what the gasket looks like, so that I can order a new gasket, because the gasket set that I ordered is for a 1980 set, and none of those fit. These ones do, but none of those do. These are all the head, the exhaust, the intake, the outtake, all that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that today. It does seem like I've got quite a bit of work on the engine, guys, so yeah, stick with me. More videos coming soon. As I can tell over here, it seems like a pretty simple engine internal. Let me show you the internals of the engine over here. So I'll flip that over. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. Forza Ferrari. Big Ferrari fan. Watching the Baku Grand Prix this weekend. First Baku Grand Prix, not doing too well, but still a second row start there. So as I can tell, the engine casings, they're pretty light, the engine is not, which leads me to believe the internals clearly are the heavy bits in between. So this is going to be your crankcase over here, is going to come straight through. I believe your crank rod goes right through there, and then I'm going to have a look. I don't even know what goes inside of this, so we're going to have a look, and as I learn I will let you guys know and show you what's going on. This engine casing has a very similar problem to what mine had. Let me show you. It seems to be a design issue. I'm going to be looking at the left crank casing, which is this one. Have a look right here. You'll see a part has broken out, and if you'll see over here, you'll see chain marks. Oh no, it's not too bad. Yeah, it is. You'll see chain marks there, so I'm wondering if I should weld a piece of steel in there to stop her from breaking as well, because if that breaks, then I'm back to square one, so that's no good. Anyway, here we go today, guys. I now have borrowed the impact drill, which does that, like I showed you, for this particular nut over here, which I've been battling with. It is a 19mm, so that ratchet set that I showed you guys is not going to be the only one that you're going to need. You're going to need a 19mm also. I haven't even needed an 18 so far, so just buy the single socket for the 19. And what I'm going to do is, I've got a piston puller, rotor puller here, which is supposed to fit on over here, but you can see these arms are quite thick. They don't fit into the recesses quite well. So what I'm going to do, I don't know where I put it. I'm going to put it, here we go. I'm going to put a cloth around the flywheel, and I'm going to grip it with these little pliers over here in order to stop the flywheel from moving, because of course when you turn this bolt, then the flywheel is going to turn. So I've got to hold one steady. So there we go. That's the rattle gun or impact drill that we've got to use. Let's see how it goes, guys. Watch out in the next video. I will include the intro as we're showing here for the engine, and continue to show you the engine internals. Have a nice day, guys. See you soon. Like, share, subscribe. Have a good day, guys.